What's up, YouTube? It's MightyFan here, and welcome to another edition of In the Life with MightyFan. As I've always said with this series, you're going to see the wins, you're going to see what I'm able to get. I'm also going to talk to you about the stuff I wasn't. And this past weekend was an example of that. I took some L's with the Hat Club drop, and it sucks, but that's part of being a collector, right? You're going to win, you're going to lose. It's like in life, you just have to kind of roll with the punches. So I want to talk about something that came in recently first, and then I'll talk about the stuff I wasn't able to get, and then I'm going to talk a little about Mitchell & Ness and one of the more recent releases that. Anyhow, we'll get into that. So thanks for all the support as always. It's always appreciated by yours truly, and thank you so much for it. And let's get into it. All right, let's get right into the deal with this. Right, so this is the item that I was able to get. It was a pre-order that I got last year. It took some time to come. It's an item from the Clink Room, and as we know, for those of you who don't, or a lot of the hat heads know, Clink Room, that's all they do is pre-orders. It takes about a few months to get after you order, as it would be in any pre-order. They were having an issue, a big issue. Now, I'm a patient person, so hey, I was only waiting on one hat. There were many people, collectors, who tons of hats they were waiting on. So obviously, a lot of money's put into this, right? When you do a pre-order, you're paying for something up front, and then you gotta wait for it to come. Now, some kind of stay away from that at all. Me, okay, if I know I'm going to get the item, I'll do it. But at any rate, so Clink Room ran into an issue. There was something with the production, something about the shipping, whatever it was. There was a lot of things going on. A lot of these hats weren't moving. It took them a while to get them in. There was a huge backlog. It just created a lot of problems for them. I felt bad. The people who run Clink Room, I think, are good. I think they mean well. All their hats, I only have a few of them, but they're done so well. The stitching is always on point. Really nice hats. The colors, the different designs, the logos that they go with, they are done by creators. Creators come up with what they want the hat to be, and Clink Room will take a selection of them, and every week they'll put out a set of them, and you just have to pre-order it. So obviously there were some issues. But I got the hat safe and sound, and it is one I'm glad to have gotten. Not to say I get every single hat they make with a fox on it or a wolf, but this is one of them I had to get, and glad it came in safe and sound. It's a nice autumn-looking hat, too, for the fall. I can't wait for that weather. We're in the middle of a heat wave right now. Your boy does not. I'm not a heat guy. I'm just. But this is a really nice one. I like the colorway. I like the execution of this hat. And we're going to go with another Fox-related one. We got the Rangers right here. Beautifully done. So the military does have one of their, they do have the Rangers. Their logo is the fox. So that's why this was created, kind of in homage to that. Really nice, a unit, I should say, part of the military. So there you go. It does have the black. It's a two-tone lid. It's got the black on the top. It's got kind of that olive green, again, military-esque right there for the under. You got the black gut on the inside, which I do prefer. And then you have the New Era flag on the side. These are always going to be New Era flag hats. You got the black squatchy on top, and you got the Clink Room logo in the back, the Con Clink logo right there. This is on the back of every hat they do. Again, look at the detail. That is just beautiful. The stitching is always on point, just really well done. It took a while to get it, but I'm glad to have gotten it. Festive's happy too. Festive, Festive. You don't have to tell Festive twice about this. Festive. It's that easy, is it, Festive? You just want Festive is to Fox hats what Garfield is to lasagna. Okay, although Festive doesn't eat it, but right away it goes. Festive's going to be the Clink Room, the Fox thought for any Fox hat that they do that we get. We're gonna. Which, by the way, shout out to all the Jersey heads who enjoy being part of Mitchell & Ness's Shout Out Saturdays. Yeah. That's not for me, okay? You don't want to see. I'm not a shout out type, but you have enough in our community that does that, right? So anyhow, we move on from that. But yes, that was an item that I was able to get. But I would like to bring up two of the ones I wasn't able to get this past weekend. I will I will start this with I'm not a hater. I'm not, listen, the company makes really nice hats. I do have some that they've made over the years. I've never been disappointed with a hat that I was actually able to get from them. But to me, it's the most trying and troubling company to try to get hats from during drops. And I know we're in an era still where the resale market's there. I can't wait for it to go away, but it's still there. It's not what it was. It's even not what it was like a year ago, but it's still there. It's still there. You still have bot problems on with some of these drops and various different sites that do them, and the hat content or content sites that put these out. And I'm not one of those. There are so many hats. They complain about not getting two of them. There's so many out there. I'm usually not one of those that says, damn, I didn't get, because then for every one or two you can't get, there's like 50 of them out there that you can, right? And I understand. Listen, Pro Image or Fan Treasures, if you will, they put out their stuff locally. I can just go and grab them. Never had a problem getting drops from them at the store, the brick and mortar stores, of course, in the malls in the area. Lids, obviously, tons of stuff. I mean, we all saw how ham I went with that 94 set with the 125 side patches, right? Now they just put out a pinstripe set. There's some out there I would like to get. So much out there, and that's just two companies. And yes, I've gotten stuff from Hat Club in the past, but I have not been successful with these Saturday drops. And I'm going to talk more specifically about the Saturday drop, because that to me has been the most troubling one. And it is their most popular drop, and I get that. Listen, there's so many people trying to get it. And I know one of the issues is they don't make enough, hats per unit per size. And I'm not gonna compare it to Lids. You can't compare these other places to Lids. It's unfair. Lids will always have more available because they have the money to make the most available, right? It's a Fanatics owned company. You're never going to compare with them for sheer volume of hats per size that they can put out. And even with that, some of them sell out real quick on the site, right? The sets that go to the site. And obviously they have other other drops that are just for in-store, and then they put them out on Lids HD, such as the 125 hats, the 94 hats that I got a couple, or more than a couple of, right? Went pretty crazy on that set. But I was able to get them. And at the bottom line, I was able to get them in hand. With Hat Club, it's always been the most problem for me. It's always been the most problematic, I should say, to try to get a hit on some of the, particularly the Saturday drop. I've gotten hats from them. I've gotten hats from the site. There's some hats sitting on the site right now that are really nice executed hats, right? You can get those. But the biggest issue has been the Saturday drop. And I know it's not just me, and I'm not asking for a pity party here. It is what it is, right? In the life. So you're going to see the good and bad of it, right? The hits and the misses. And I took 2 L's this weekend. Now listen, they have done this set before. I think this is about the 3rd time they put out. They call it the Cool Fashion set. It's basically MLB hats per team with that basically is a hook, combo wombo, if you will, for the most part the 90s NBA jerseys. Okay, so city, city with city, right? So in this case, the two from the drop that I really wanted, I know they were really popular. I knew that going in, but was the Nationals, the DC. So what that one was, it was a white crown with a blue brim, so it was a two-tone. It had the DC logo on the front, and I think it had their 10th Annie logo on the side, but it was done with the old Wizards colorway, so like the Michael Jordan era colorway, right? So basically the home jersey of those years. So I was thinking of that hat for 2 reasons. A, for my authentic Nike Michael Jordan Wizards jersey, but also the jersey I just recently got, the Ovi rookie Capitals jersey, because it's the home jersey. That hat would have gone with both of them. So now I'm in like combo wombo overdrive with that hat. I'm like, ooh, that's for two jerseys. I like it. I think it was executed really well. All right, I know it's going to be tough because national hats go, but I'm like, I'm going to try. I'm going to try with that one, and we're going to see what happens, right? The other one I wanted from that set was the Minnesota. Now, I do have the one they did last time, which was the basically their original colorway. So you think like Kevin Garnett rookie, you think J.R. Ryder dunk contest, that one. So it's got the royal blue with the green. So it was a two-tone. It had the lowercase m on the front and the patch on the side. I think it was the World Series patch. Really well done. I was able to get that one. That one I don't think originally hit on a Saturday. I think that was like a Friday, but I know I got it from the cool fashion one that they put out, and I think that one. I don't know if that was as well advertised before. It may have even been like one of those shock type deals that just came out. I heard about it on Views from the Vault in one of their live shows. Shout out to the fellas. I went and grabbed it, and I really don't know how I did it, but I did it. And I say that because usually I these drops, the Saturday, I have no success. And I hate to have that defeatist attitude with it, but a lot of times when I see Hat Club doing these drops, and particularly the Saturday drops, I'm like, yeah, what's the use? I'm not going to be able to get what I want from it. It's just going to make me upset. And why should I even bother with it? There's plenty of other avenues for me to get hats, including on Hat Club, because there are hats that kind of sit sometimes, and if there's something I like, all right, I'm able to get it. I mean, an example of that would be the Reds hat they put out some time ago with the World Series logo, the 76 World Series logo. It was a gray hat with a red brim, two-tone. It goes with my road, 1976 Reds jerseys. So, and that one sat for a while, right? So I was able to get it without a problem. But that wasn't a Saturday drop. That was just a weekday drop that, now obviously, look, it wasn't as big, hyped up as some of these other ones that they put out on Saturdays, right? They get all the attention. So obviously the cool fashion crossover, call it whatever you want, set is a popular set. People like those hats. And I think there's going to be a part 2 of that coming out, I think, this week or whenever it is, right? With some others. I think they're even bringing back some of the ones from the previous drops that they did of it over the past few years. Anyhow, the Minnesota one I wanted for this set was more of the one that goes with kind of the pine tree, collar jerseys that they wore. Think like Kevin Garnett's MVP or, that set, the one that came out after the inaugural. You got the Timberwolves across the front and that silver shiny, stuff, and it has the pine tree neck collar and the armholes on those jerseys, right? Prime KG years, basically. Stephon Marbury, that group of Timberwolves, right? Wally Zerviak, what have you, right? So those were the two hats, and they may have been two of the more popular ones from that set. So I knew I was already up against it. I knew that it's very time sensitive. You got to really move. The other thing that was kind of working against me, although I don't think this was the reason I wasn't able to get them, the other thing that worked against me, I was on the road. So I had a nice trip this weekend with my dad, went out to Rochester, New York, had a nice time. We were coming back on Saturday, and it was around 2 o'clock. And so their Saturday drop is always 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific. And I knew it was just before 2. And the funny thing about we were just at a rest stop. And we started moving again just before 2. And you're on the highway, we're in the mountains. I'm thinking, oh crap, could we just have waited another 5 minutes? And I'm not going to say that. I'm in the passenger seat. I'm not driving, by the way. I don't have the phone in front of me driving, trying to get this. So I'm in the passenger seat, and I'm refreshing it now. I was able to log in ahead of time. I did all the parameters in place before that you're supposed to do, right? I'm refreshing the page. The page is refreshing. As we're moving, I'm nervous about this. I'm like, oh, man, am I going to lose signal? What's going to happen? I'm refreshing the page. It's refreshing. Everything's going okay. I see all right, 2 o'clock, the drop hits. Here they start filtering right on the new release section. And I go for the Nationals and I go for the Timberwolves. And what I even did, so I can wear a fitted anywhere between a 7.3/8 and a 7.5/8, okay? And I know 7.5 is my preferred size, but that's a size that's going to move. That's a real popular size, right? So I said, all right, let me put 7.5/8. Let me see. I can try to, maybe these last for just a few more seconds than a 7.5, and I can get it, and I know I can still wear it. let me just do this, all right? Because I'm thinking about all the little tricks that I've heard of over the years. This is what you do. This is what you do, right? Now, I wasn't going to use Apple Pay for this because I didn't want to put my credit card on. I had some extra money into my checking. That's what I wanted to use. I've had trouble in the past trying to use Apple Pay with it. So I'm like, all right, I have to use PayPal. I know that can be tricky, right? But all right, let me put in for PayPal, hit the PayPal thing, and option for pay, and the circle thing just kept going. Now I don't think that was an issue with the with because I was in the car. I think just a lot of people trying to buy at once, so it really the system got slow. It came up. It gave me the option. How do you want to pay with PayPal? All right, checking. Boom, done. So what they did, and in a way, I applaud them for trying to control the bot problem. Is they use that, and we've all seen it, right? They use that the picture comes up, and it says, okay, you have these blocks within the picture, and it says, all right, you have to choose what blocks have the bicycle in it, what box depict the crosswalk in it, and you have to pick the blocks and then hit OK, and it should take you to your next step, which is the final step to put your order in, right? So, and I know this happened for other people because I saw it in the comments on their Instagram feed for this set, for the cool fashion drop, right? I know other people had this problem too. So what happened? And I think they call it the CAPTCHA or something like that. Whatever that picture thing is that comes up. Make sure you're not a bot, So there's like a check mark thing, and then the picture, and you have the matchy game. That's what I call it. It's the matchy game, okay? So I did it on one. I hit OK. Then a second one comes up. Usually it's one and done. Now all of a sudden here comes a second one. Again, this is a time-sensitive thing. I'm trying to put my order in, and the second CAPTCHA thing comes up. All right, crosswalk. All right, OK. Then it should have taken me right then and there, and I think it was enough for free shipping, so it wouldn't have even given me the shipping option. It should have just taken the order right there and then. All of a sudden the login screen comes up again. And I know this happened for other people because this was a complaint. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I did all this and I did it quick. I would have hit it. Here comes the damn login screen. Now I have it set up, so all I have to do is hit, and my password, it all comes up automatic. So it's just one more click, but that's another click. And now I gotta go through the card again. Now I gotta go through all this, the PayPal, the CAPTCHA crap again. And then again the damn login screen comes up. And I knew it was over. Because, you're like, how many minutes in already? I knew it was done. And sure enough, I go in there, reload it. Everything's gone from the cart. It already sold out. Listen, it's two hats. Okay, I get that. There's much more right out there. But these hats, they meant something to me because it is combo wombo oriented. These sets, that when they put these sets out, look, they're never going to call it the MightyFan set, but you might as well just call it the MightyFan set because that's what it is. It's matching hats for jerseys. And I know there's other people in their community that do this. I get that. But again, I can only speak for me. This is like a set that's so geared towards what I love to do, and I can't get it because it's Hat Club that puts it out. And they're the hardest one to get their drops, right? So I almost feel like, man, if Lids, I'm not saying do the exact same the Hat Club does. If Lids could just do a drop like this, I know I'll have more availability to get the hats. I can get as many from that set, more than likely the ones I can find in store, or if they put it all on their website, which would be perfect, because then it's just one. I'm putting them all in the cart, one shipping, one and done, right? If Lids HD did it, all right. And Lids HD way of dealing with the bots is you can only buy two hats at a time. Now it kind of sucks because then you got to pay extra shipping for everything, right? Now and God knows I did that for the 94 set, but I was able to get them, right? So if Lids did it and it was an in-store exclusive, eventually they're going to be on Lids HD. Like I'm assuming the Pinstripe collection is going to eventually be on a drop for Lids HD, and the ones I can't find around here, maybe I can get from there. At least I feel I'll have an option with doing it. I'll have more availability to do it. Even some of these other sites like a MyFitteds, and I know there's horror stories all across the board because you're dealing with limited selection, and I get that availability for these hats, right, per unit. they're not making as many as lids would. And even in some cases, they hit their stores first, their brick and mortar stores in New York or New Jersey, which I would love to go to someday, before they're hitting the website. So you're already dealing with low supply anyhow, then they hit the website later, but there's only, so much available, right? I've gotten some of these cool fashion hats that Pro Image did over the years, and I would love for them to do another set of those because I know I can go and get them. Now I know that I know that Hat Club has a NoHo store. They have other brick and mortar stores. I don't have any hat clubs around here. They have yet to put one in the Philly area, and it sucks. I would love to have access to a hat club store at the King of Prussia Mall, in Philly, someplace where I can just go to and get some of these hats and some of these drops. I can't do that, right? Now, I can go to the one in New York, the NoHo store that's so popular. I would love to, but I don't know if I want to go there for a drop because even then you're not guaranteed to get the hat. I've heard stories of like they have, right? They have like a lottery system for some of these or whatever. I've heard different things. I don't know from experience because I haven't gone there. But here's my thing. All right, I'm going to go there. Now, unless I'm going there with a group of friends or whatever, make it a day, make it fun. If I, one of these days, if I'm able to go with some of the views from the vault guys that do their wonderful vlogs from these stores, I would love to go there with them, right? I would love to take part in that because these stores, every time, and shout out to them, when they put out these vlogs with these stores, oh my God, I'm just salivating looking at them. Because there's all these hats and all these, it's like, oh my God, and I don't know what I would do. I would probably just be done with my allotment within the first 2 stores for what I want to spend that day, right? Crazy, just great stuff. And I know the NoHo location for Hat Club, but here's my thing. Am I going to drive all the way there on a day of a drop? Right now, and we all know what gas prices are these days. Now I got to use gas to get there, right? And it's not like I'm going to Philly, I'm going to New York. Now I gotta go there, I gotta find parking, I gotta get to the store. Then I gotta hope once I do that I can get the hat in my size, right? And if I can't do that, now I wasted a day, I wasted gas money, all this, and I'm going to be even more frustrated with that than I'm going to be right now because I couldn't get it on my phone. And I say that to say this. I don't know what Hat Club needs to do to make this better. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I would say pre-order, but I understand there's issues. I mean, look what happened with the Clink Room, right? There's issues that can happen with that. But maybe that would be an option for certain sets like the cool fashion set, because it's going to be a super popular set. Make it more available for people, okay? Maybe, I'm an insider. You're the insider with Hat Club, right? They don't do this. They used to, where you had early access. Insiders had early access to some of these sets. Or even the views from the vault, the wonderful job they do with their Discord page. Maybe allow the Discord members on Views from the Vault to have early access to this drop, right? They do that from time to time. Different companies will have this early access for the Discord members to maybe have a 10-minute head start. They give you a little password. You go in there, you can get the hats. I know that's how I got and I know Pierre, who is one of the members from the, obviously from the Views from the Vault, but also for the Discord page, but also his company, Good Hats, gave us an early access to get the Killer Bees hats that they put out. That's how I was able to get the 2.0, the Charlotte Hornets hook. Very popular hat. I got it because I had that early access to it because I'm in the Discord group, right? Maybe Hat Club can give us early access to some of these drops. I don't know what it is. And is it going to be totally fair? No. But the way they're doing it now, I still don't know if it's a totally fair way of doing it, because me and a lot of other people just can't hit on these drops, and it's, to me, it's a problem because you're again, I hate having the defeatist attitude towards it, but a lot of these drops I see and they're really nice, and I look at it and I say, oh, it's a Saturday drop, I'm not going to have a shot at it. What's the use? I'm not even going to worry about it. But this one I wanted to try because, again, it hit me. It was meaningful to me, this drop in these particular hats to go with jerseys. And that's why, not getting them, I don't want to say I thought beforehand, oh, I'm not going to get them. I thought I had a shot, and because I had to go through those damn hoops, You had to jump through hoops at the end, the little games that you gotta play to try to, to make sure I'm not a bot. That cost me from getting these hats, and it sucked. It did, and I know other people it did too. And listen, I feel for them. I know people hit on them. I don't know what they did to hit on them. They found a way. It worked for them, but it didn't for me. And you shouldn't be in a situation, and that you just can't get the thing you want to get. And I know there's aspects of in life where you're not going to be able to get stuff. I would love to have an Ecto 1, okay, in my driveway, the Ghostbusters. I would love an Ecto 1. That is the one movie vehicle that I want to be able to drive. I want in my driveway. You know how much money it's going to cost to get an Ecto 1? I might never, ever in my life get an Ecto 1, but I would love an Ecto 1. It would mean the world to me to have an Ecto 1 in my driveway with the siren, I would love that. I'm a Ghostbusters geek. That movie is one of my favorite movies. That car is my favorite car. But all I'm ever going to be able to get is a die-cast version of it, right? I'm never going to be able to afford a real version of that, right? I would love to. It's a pipe dream of mine to own one, but I just don't think it's ever going to happen. So there's aspects of life you're never going to be able to get, but this is one, it should be more attainable. We're talking about hats. And I'm not trying to say that to sound a certain way, but it's a hat. You should be able to get it. It shouldn't be this difficult, right? And like I said, the one place that I've always had the most trouble with is Hat Club. And I know it's they're one of the more popular places. It's like they're almost like they're one of the OGs, right? There's a lot of attention on what they do. And I just think that, but it's still very difficult to get their drops. It just is. And I don't have that difficulty with some other places, not just going to brick and mortar stores, but buying online. It shouldn't be that way, but it is. And I don't know if this is ever going to go away until the craziness goes away with the resellers and the bots for this stuff. Listen, hats used to be on clearance at Hat Club. I remember those days. It's not like that anymore. I don't know when it's going to be. Until the craziness of the resale goes away. And God only knows when that's going to be. It's not as crazy now as it was just a year ago, but still, you have it. Particularly with certain logos and certain hats. It's always there. It is what it is. But anyhow, I digress from that. But those are two things I weren't able to get. And it's frustrating. It is what it is. Listen, there's 50 other hats out there I know I can get. Maybe someday on the resale market, when the price comes down a bit, I'll be able to get the DC hat or maybe the Timberwolves hat. God knows when that will be. But, my eyes will always be open for them out on there, like a Macari or a Poshmark. But, it's like even that. It's like, but I could have and probably should have been able to just grab them the day of. But it is what it is. What can you do? And again, I'm not blaming people. I'm not blaming the big hat collectors that are able to get it seemingly just about everything from these drops. It's something that is impeding to be able to get them, and it is annoying. It is annoying when it's consistently one spot. And it is what it is. But like I said, someday I would love to go to the NoHo store. I would love to go to these other stores that you see on Jamaica Avenue or whatever, New York and New Jersey. Yeah, it's a trip, a pilgrimage that I would like to take someday. Ironically enough, I was in New York State over the weekend. I just wasn't there. I was more in the mountains of New York. So anyhow, that was my experience this past Saturday, and it is what it is. But Lids, if you could just do one of these sets or a Pro Image, I know they made them in the past. You can make them again, and hopefully I'll be able to get some at that point. But anyhow, I digress from that. Mitchell and Ness. We know with Mitchell and Ness they're a lightning rod in the Jersey Head community. They really are. And there's been a lot of complaints and and I know they watch it. God knows they watch us. They know. about the groups on Facebook. They know about IG, what the complaints are on IG. They got the finger on the pulse in the Jersey Head community. They do. They probably watch our YouTube videos. Hello. Right? More than likely they do. They know. But they don't use us as a focus group, as a way, as a quality control, right? And I'm not saying pay us. Listen, you would never have to offer me a free jersey or a hat or whatever it is. If you wanted to use me and other members of the group, on a Zoom meeting or something, and it could just be for authentic jerseys. Listen, most of the, I don't have the hatred for the swingman that a lot of the guys in the group do. They're there. I have some in the collection. You all saw the video some time ago when I was trying to get that Steve Smith crazy looking Hawks with the ABA colorway on there. Yeah. But I do prefer the authentics, as most Jersey heads do. But when they make the authentic jerseys, and again, listen, them putting out the select that they do, in a way it does help me. Because it's like every month, I don't have to, oh my God, I need this, I need that, it would be overload, right? But I understand where people want them to do more authentics, yeah, and it would be wonderful, but they got to do them right. That's the problem. They make these authentics, and there's issues. Now listen, I will always say, they made mistakes back in the old days too. There's plenty of examples of them, right? But every time they make an authentic jersey, they get nitpicked in the group. They do. And look, rightfully so. The Jersey heads know these ins and outs with these jerseys. They know the stitching. They know that if the cut's has to be a certain way. They understand that. And I think part of the reason why, we get on them as much is because Mitchell & Ness is the one company that talks about nostalgia. That they want to make these things they want to produce these things to look like you're getting them from what they were worn on the court or on the field or on the what have you, right? It's always been what it was with Mitchell & Ness. And it kind of went away. Obviously things will never stay the way they are. Everything changes over time. But Mitchell & Ness still is one of those companies that wants to pride themselves on that, but yet a lot of mistakes are made. And in some cases, I think they're avoidable mistakes. If they go to if they have some people who are very knowledgeable. Now, I'm not one of those that knows everything about the stitch and about this is how this is supposed to be, kiss cut, that cut, the other thing, right? But you have people in the group who are. I mean, you look at people like Mac and Rivalry Sportswear. They make jerseys. They have jerseys done. True Custom does. Now, obviously, listen, True, I'm not saying it's a competitor to Mitchell & Ness, but they're making jerseys, right, custom stuff. But you still you have a lot of knowledge. Even just take the groups on Facebook. Look at some of the members on there. Look at some of the people who know about Mitchell & Ness product like the back of their hand. You have Nostalgia Boy. You have Throwback King. You got Mac. You got a Big Slim, of course. My good buddies right in that group, and that's just naming a few. You got Luca. You got a lot of people in this group who just have that knowledge, and you can go to and you can put these groups together and say, all right, this is what we're thinking about doing. How does this look? I'm not even saying pay us. I'm saying just use us like a focus group, and it could just be for authentics, right? And you can reduce the risk of some of these issues coming out. This is how these jerseys should be. All right, well, this is not historically right. Maybe it should be like, it has to be like this. Here's the examples. They can show pictures. They can, we can show them examples of this. Some people may even have the jerseys, authentic vintage jerseys that they can show them. No, this is how it is, right? Now, sometimes, hey, look, maybe they're never going to do yoke sleeves. Maybe they're never going to do certain things to cut, whatever. But still, they could use the group. All right, this jersey, this is what we're thinking. What do you guys think, right? Again, we're not on their payroll, but still, we're out there, right? We have this knowledge of this stuff. This is our passion. This is what we do, right? So I say that to say this. Long-winded way as usual to get around to my point. So recently, I just saw these today. 3 Cincinnati Bengals authentic line jerseys came out. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals, to me, have always had some of the nicest jerseys in the NFL. Those tiger stripes, awesome. And all these years, Mitchell Ness, up until now, has only made 2 in authentic form. They made Boomer Esiason home and away, I believe 1988, and they made Ickey Woods, authentic home jersey of the time. All the other, anything else they've done has been legacy line. Chad Ochocinco they did. I think they did some boomers in that too. Legacy line jerseys, right? So authentics they really haven't given us. I think way back there was very limited run, I believe, of Corey Dillon, Bengals jersey done back in the day. I don't remember seeing it, but apparently it was out there at one point, right? So those are the only authentic Bengals jerseys they've given us over the years. But basically for the 80s era, it's been Boomer and Ickey, right? But they're awesome looking jerseys, and there's many other players that they could do that they just haven't for one reason or another, maybe licensing rights, whatever it is, right? I've always kind of wanted an Anthony Munoz jersey because that's one of those players that I always identified with the Bengals, right? I remember him, as a Bengal, right? Obviously one of the all-time greats, great lineman, Hall of Famer. So they finally made an authentic Anthony Munoz jersey. And they made 2 other players too. I'm blanking on them right now. I think Anderson was one of them. I forget the third. But they made these 3 players 1981 jerseys, representing the 1981 season. Now, when I went on to Mitchell & Ness's website today, I usually check it. The website's crap. It still is. But I still go on there to see what they got cooking, right? What's the new releases, right? And so, obviously, you see these authentic line Bengal jerseys. Ooh, and they had a patch. Now, again, I'm seeing it from a little bit of afar, and I'm like, did they wear a patch? Ooh, if they did, it's even better. Now, I knew 81. Okay, so that's a Super Bowl year for them. That was the first year they went to the Super Bowl in franchise history, right? But they didn't wear Super Bowl patches in 81. That didn't start until Super Bowl 25. My first Super Bowl that I remember seeing, I'm sorry, Bills fans, wide right Scott Norwood against the Giants, Bills-Giants. That's the first year they wore the patch for a Super Bowl, right? Now, they only did that because it was the 25th anniversary Super Bowl, and now the patch is every year. You see it on the Super Bowl jerseys, right, for the 2 teams that make the Super Bowl. So I'm thinking, 1981, did they have a patch? I'm like racking my brain. I went on to the link of the Munoz jersey, and I noticed it's a Ring of Honor patch with the current Bengal head logo as the logo. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is for the 81 season. What's that patch doing on there? And I'm trying to think. I'm like, I'm trying everything. I'm like, did they wear it? Is that something they did in 81? Right? I didn't know. So I'm looking at this thing. I'm going, no, that's the current Bengal logo. Why is that on an 81 authentic jersey? Everything else about the jersey's good. Heat pressed on numbers, as you would see on the logo on the shirt right here, right? Heat pressed on numbers, the stripes. Everything else is 81. What's this patch doing on there? Why is that on there? And so I put it in the Kings of Throwback group. I'm like, well, what is this? Am I missing something here? What is this? And obviously it brought up a lot of conversation. And there was one person on there, obviously a Bengal fan, obviously said, no, the Bengals last year started this Ring of Honor. And Munoz and the other 2 players were the first 3 that they chose for their Ring of Honor. And now it's going to be an annual thing with them, right? So I'm still I'm baffled by this. I'm like, but okay, I get that it's a cool thing. It doesn't belong on those jerseys. I'm even like deep diving. I'm looking at pictures of Munoz, being honored that night. He's got a suit on. He's not even wearing a jersey. It's a suit that he opened it up, and the inside lining is the Bengal stripe. Very cool looking suit jacket. But he's not even wearing a jersey. I'm thinking, did they like wear the jersey just as like a commemorative thing? No, they're in these suits. So I'm like, well, this doesn't go at all. Now someone else brought up the point, and obviously he's a Bengal fan. He's like, oh, but it's cool. But 81, that was their first Super Bowl year, and last year they went to a Super Bowl. So it kind of brings it all full circle. Again, to each his own. If you get the jersey, awesome, and you're happy with it, okay. Me, personally, I'm not going to get the jersey. Now, people were saying, well, maybe there's an easy way to get the patch off. Whatever. It just depends on how it's stitched on there. But again, I'm like, well, why is it on there to begin with? It makes no sense. Now, if you want to do a jersey to commemorate the Ring of Honor, Bengals Ring of Honor, then put on the year tag, on the date tag, let's say, the date that was done. Don't put 1981 on there, because he wasn't honored in the Ring of Honor in 1981. You're making a jersey to represent the year they went to their first Super Bowl, which is very cool. But then you put that patch on there for a whole nother reason. But then the date patch shouldn't have 1980. It should be like when they make the All-Star jerseys for the NBA. They give you the date of the All-Star game. Then put the date that Munoz was put in the Bengals Ring of Honor. Then, okay, it makes sense. Now, it's still kind of weird, but yeah, it's a jersey that he wore when he was a Bengal. And okay, you're putting that Ring of Honor as a flare, and we all know me, I love the flare on a jersey, right? The patch or whatever, a side patch on a hat. I get that. I'm very guilty of that. I'll raise my hand, but still, even with that, I want it to be historically accurate. To the point that I did get, thank you to my buddy Slim, got the some time ago, earlier in the year, I got a jersey off eBay for Andre Tippett, New England Patriots, rare away white Mitchell and Ness Patriots jersey. It has the patch on there, right, for the silver anniversary of the AFL, but it also had this Super Bowl patch on there that had nothing to do with that year of the jersey. Now, Mitchell and Ness didn't put that on there. The previous owner put it on there to add some more flair or whatever the reason. It had nothing. It wasn't even a Super Bowl the Patriots were in. It was just on there. I think it was I want to say it was like the 1976 Super Bowl. It's like, well, what is that on there? Why is that? Now, Slim, again, shout to him. He was able to seam rip that off of there, and it's perfect. You couldn't even tell it was ever on there. The patch alone is nice. It didn't belong in that jersey. It had nothing to do with that year, nothing to do with that jersey. And again, this Mitchell Ness didn't do it. It was the previous owner. And it's like, why? And I got the jersey, and thankfully the patch was able to come off nice and clean. But it's like, why would you do that, right? Whoever did that, why? What point is that, right? Obviously, someone who didn't care about historical accuracies on a jersey. Mitchell and Ness should. Okay, because this is what they do. And people came up with different things. Yeah, this is the trend they're doing. They made the gold jersey, the silver jersey, and authentic for Kobe. And it's not one that he ever wore, but they did it to honor Kobe. They made the Hall of Fame, the Kevin Garnett authentic, and the Tim Duncan authentic with the different patches on there. He never wore it with it, but they put the patches on there to commemorate, right, different events for Tim Duncan over the years, or these milestones or whatever. NBA titles and for Kobe too and what have you, right? But they at least put that into it was there. They told you this is why they did it. For these 3 Bengal jerseys, they have nowhere in the description that we're making this in honor of, well, it's the first 3 players that were put in the Bengals Ring of Honor. This is why we made the jersey. No, it's an authentic Bengals Munoz jersey. That's all they put. Information. This is it. And again, it's their website, so you take it for what it is. This is it. It's an authentic line Bengals jersey with a patch that doesn't belong on the jersey. And people were saying, well, this is a trend because they're doing it on hats. Now they're going to do it on these jerseys. And this is, again, a hat is a $40, $50 hat. Now, even that, the price keeps going up. But this is a $325 jersey. And I get the Kobe, the special edition, and the Tim Duncan. They're all $300 whatever jerseys. They don't hit me. I don't get them. I'm not one of those consumers for those. People are, and you get whatever you want. But if you're going to make the authentic line jerseys, you got to keep them what they are, authentic line. You can't add something on them that really has nothing to do with the year you're trying to make. Okay? We all know in the community, we're waiting on this. At some point, don't know when, we would imagine it would be this coming football season, Mitchell Ness is going to drop a rookie Ray Lewis jersey, and it's the Ravens. For those of you who know this jersey, very nice looking jersey. It has the full Raven on the sleeves, everything, the font, it's a beauty, okay? They put this jersey out, I'm telling you right now, if they make this jersey, which is supposed to be his rookie jersey, and they put some Ravens anniversary patch that wasn't part of that year, or a Hall of Fame induction patch, or a Super Bowl logo on there that wasn't part of his rookie year, that's going to be extremely disappointing. That is because this is a jersey we've waited for, right? They've teased it. Oh, we're going to do it. Obviously, it hasn't come out yet, but we know it's in the pipeline, right? We know this. It's going to come. We've just been waiting on it. It's going to. They make this thing and they put some patch on there that doesn't belong in there. Again, and someone did bring up the New Era hats. New Era is not claiming that they're making things that just the way that they're supposed to be. All right, the big trend I know is these different crazy colorways, the UVs, the this, that, the other thing. I get, but with New Era, okay, they also bring you the line of hats like this that are worn on the field. Now this is a batting practice, but this is worn during batting practice. There's no crazy colors. All right, they're giving you the regular line, and they're mixing in these other crazy concoctions, okay? And all these different companies, the hat clubs, the MyFitteds, the Lids, the this, that, the other thing, they're all making the New Era branded hats, but they're not telling you that they're on-field authentics. Mitchell & Ness is telling you this is an authentic jersey. This is part of the authentic line. This is what was worn. You know, supposedly their version of what, now we can complain about the cut of the jersey, you can do whatever, right? But this is what was worn on the field. The Roy Halladay jersey, the Phillies jersey, they got wrong. The home jersey, because the vents were too big on the side. They made mistakes with that, okay? Same deal, this Munoz and the other Bengal jerseys. You didn't need to put the Ring of Honor patch on there. It doesn't belong. And even you don't make mention of it in your description. This is why we did this. It's bad. And if this is the start of a trend, oh, well, based off the hat, and they've done these other crazy patches and this and that, no, it's not good. Now, not if you're going to do this with your authentic line, which we know they don't make enough of, and now they're going to give us something, and they're going to put something on there that doesn't belong, and they're going to charge $325 for it. Bad. That's not good, okay? If you want to do that, you have a legacy line. You can put it on the legacy line. You can make your whole Ring of Honor line and do different jerseys, and these are the players that were honored by these teams, and here's a little logo to go with it. Okay, it's a different set. You do that plenty of times with the swingman lines, with all these, the picnic table, the picnic cloth, you know, whatever, the Storm jersey, the, you know, whatever, the pot of gold, whatever you're going to call it, right? The, you know, the July 25th. I don't know, whatever you want to call these. But it's the swingman line. It's the cheaper line, you know, retail-wise. I know they've done some authentic, various different ones for Kobe and now KG, Tim Duncan, what have you. But that's a separate deal, right? But they're still giving you the authentics that they wore on the court, right? Right, that they're supposed to, with the right patches that go with the right year. Now they're going to put out these Bengal jerseys, and I don't know if this is just to test the water with it or what. It's not good. It just isn't. Maybe people enjoy it. Look, you do what you want to do. I'm not buying that jersey because the patch doesn't belong on it. It doesn't. The tag is 1981. Keep it 1981. It's patchless. And again, I am one of the biggest proponents to, oh, the flair, I want this, but not something that doesn't belong with the year. That's bad patch. That's bad use of patch. Listen, sometimes there's flair just for flair. But if you're trying to promote this thing that this is a jersey worn in 1981, you don't put the Ring of Honor patch on there that was from 2021. Okay? You don't do it. Doesn't make sense. And if this opens a whole nother can, now they're going to just keep putting out these jerseys with patches that don't belong with the year. I mean, what can I do? And again, I know one of the things was, well, you can get the vintage jerseys. Those vintage jerseys, they don't fit me right. Some of them do. I can get the starters, Reeboks, they fit okay. We're talking about some of the jerseys from the 80s. That's not going to work with me. Okay? It's just, it's not how I'm built. Okay? So I can't get those jerseys. And even if, Now you got to find them. You got to find them in your size. They have to be in good condition. You got to find who to send them to get customized right. At least with the NBA, we know. If Mitchell and Ness is going to make the swingmans and I don't want a swingman in this particular jersey, all right, well, I can go to True Custom, Rivalry. There's places I can go to get these done in authentic form. I'm good. Now, football, I need Mitchell and Ness to get right because there isn't a place where you can just go and from scratch get these jerseys readily done, right? Where these other places, they're readily done. NBA, readily done. I can't do that for football. I need Mitchell and Ness to get it right. Now, if it's a jersey from the Reebok era, okay, I can find the Reebok Authentics all day, every day on eBay or what have you. You're talking about jerseys from the 80s. And they're out there, they don't fit me right. Okay, so I need Mitchell and Ness to get it right. Now, the cut is already an issue. People complain about the cut of their jerseys. I get that, the box cut or what have you, but at least it's still a jersey that represents that year. All right, the cut is what it is, but at least I can still wear it. You know, and it doesn't have a patch on there. It doesn't belong on there from that year. And again, you're saying, oh, I'll just take the patch off, but that defeats the purpose. Why is the patch on there? Why? What purpose is that? Is it for that on that jersey with a 1981 tag on it? It makes no sense. It shouldn't be on there. I shouldn't have to take the extra step of getting it taken off. It shouldn't be there to begin with. And if you're going to do it, make another line. Do a legacy line with it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the authentic line. Legacy line, perfect. You can put the patch on there. You can put a patch with Anthony Munoz's face on the jersey. Whatever you want to do. But on an authentic line with the pressed on numbers and everything the way it's supposed to look from 1981, don't put the freaking patch on there. It doesn't belong. And this, again, is why they need to use the Jersey Head community as a focus group with this stuff. They need to do this. It's a simple thing. Reach out. You know who's knowledgeable in these groups. Obviously, you watch us. You know the problems. Yet you won't go to the source. You won't go to the guys in this group and gals in this group that are just so knowledgeable for this stuff and can point these things out to you before you put out and you make yourself look foolish. That's what it is. And I love the brand. I do. I go to the store. I buy this stuff. I enjoy it. But when there's gripes to be had, I'm gonna make them because I appreciate this stuff. I'm a fan of this product, and I want it done right. And it's not too much to ask. It just isn't. I don't know what it is with the quality control. I have no idea who they have in this quality control saying, "Oh yeah, 1981 Bengals. Let's put a Ring of Honor patch on there from 2021. That makes sense. That's gonna work because New Era made a hat with a crazy color concoction with a logo that the patch that doesn't go together. Well, they did. So now let's do it on an authentic line NFL jersey. That's a good idea. And listen, people might not care. People want to buy that jersey. All Bengal fans are happy. Okay, I get, but me and a lot of others like me are not happy with that because we know what Mitchell and Ness used to do, and this is not something that should be done. Not with the authentic line. Not for $325. That's not a mistake you make on a $325 jersey. And I know there's mistakes they made with $300+ jerseys all day, every day. We know this. But this keeps happening, and again, they have such a great source to go to, and they don't. But they complain when the Jersey Heads complain about what they do. But there's a way to try to avoid this, and they don't. It's like the wires don't connect. They're there to connect, but they keep them unplugged. I don't know, man. I'm not one of those that goes out of my way to complain about what they do. I'm not. It gets done enough. But this one bothered me. Because again, there really isn't. There's no need for it. There's no need for that patch to be on those jerseys. There's not. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. It isn't. If you want to put the patch, put it on a shirt. Make an Anthony Munoz t-shirt with him on there, an image of him, and you can put the logo on there all day. Oh, this is Ring of Honor. You can put it on the side of a hat. But it doesn't belong on a jersey with a 1981 tag on it. An authentic line NFL jersey with a 1981 tag on it. In my opinion, and opinion of others, it doesn't belong. It doesn't go together. MightyFan got a little heated in this one, but it, to me, it's laziness. It doesn't belong. That's a no. That's a miss. I don't know. Again, they'll never use this as they could, and other brands, other companies would use, these appreciator groups for this, maybe for sneakers, maybe for hats. Mitchell & Ness, they have the ability, they have it right there, and they just won't do it. It annoys me because, like I said, I'm a fan of the brand. I'm a consumer of the brand. I just wish our voices mattered a little more. I just do, And I know I've talked about this with this jersey for the first time. There's been others. And it's just one of those that, this could have been avoided. If you just went to a source, this could have been avoided, and maybe they just don't care. And that's what it is. That's the cold reality of the situation. Maybe it's too corporate. And it's not a Fanatics thing. This has been going on for a while, before the Fanatics take over. This is, but it's a simple fix. If you just reached out. Anyhow, my little rant and rave on that one. Thank you all for the support as always. What do you got to do for this video? As I always say, leave the likes. Give them as many likes as you can, right? Comment below. What are your thoughts? Hey, maybe you don't. Maybe you're one of those that just love that it's on there. And look, that's your prerogative. If you want to spend your money on it, go for it. Me, I'm not. Even if it's a simple fix to take the patch off, it's the principle. It shouldn't be on there. It shouldn't be on there. So, it is what it is. But I value your opinion. Feel free to comment below. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And what do you always got to do, right? You got to hit that bell icon so you're alerted to all future content from yours truly, whether I'm ranting and raving about things I weren't able to get or mistakes that other companies might make on stuff, not just Mitchell & Ness, but other companies too. Hey, you never know. I'm gonna show you the hits. I'm gonna talk about the misses. That's part of in the life of a collector, and I'm happy to always bring this content to you. And I thank you all for the support for this series and all the content that I bring you on the regular. All right, everyone, take care. I've gone almost an hour here. We're going to end it now. Hope you all enjoyed. You all take care. I'll see you in the next one.